Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's episode on my Malaysia video YouTube series. And today, I'm going to talk about a topic about why I don't really invest in property in Malacca, right? Over the years, I've been always asked this question: how about Malacca? Can buy or not? Is there things to buy in Malacca? And they talk about some condos project, and I have some reasons why I don't buy in Malacca. Actually, today I'm in Malacca, which is why I am doing this video. Today is the ERA, we all in ERA Johor. ERA Johor, we are doing a we're doing a team training event today in Malacca. So there's a retreat for all our agents here. And Malacca is a nice place. I mean, if I show you the video from my hotel room, it's a nice place. So quiet, and it's a nice place to be. A lots of food and tourism choices. But there's a reason why I don't buy Malacca, and let me go through them with you. Number one is Malacca is actually population is an issue, right? Malacca city, right? We talk about Malacca city itself. The population is probably about 400 over thousand to maybe just over 500 over thousand people. So it's quite small in Malacca city itself. Malacca state only around 1/million. If you compare to Johor Bahru, right? Johor Bahru, Greater Johor Bahru itself is about 2 million plus people, right? Johor state itself is a 3 plus 3.5 million people. So not enough population in Malacca, right? So that's problem number one. And when you don't have enough population, right, property prices are difficult to go up, right? And Malacca is has this issue where population not enough. And part of the reason why Malacca doesn't have enough population growth is because of the rural to urban migration, right? Rural, right, from kampong area go to the urban, go to the cities, right? So kampong go to cities. So what happened is a lot of young people, they go to the cities to find job, right? This is very common, right? So Malacca young people, and actually this happens to many small towns in Malaysia, right? That you may have heard of, for example, like Muar or Batu Pahat or Kluang or Tampin or small towns in the rural area. The young people go to the big cities, whether KL or JB or Singapore, to find work because there's more employment there, more entertainment, right? More job opportunities, right? Higher pay. So the young go to the big cities, and because of that, right? Small cities, small towns, they don't grow. And Malacca to me is one example of that kind of city which is stuck in that rural urban migration problem where they cannot really grow fast enough because of this issue. And of course, the other issue in Malacca is the low, what you call low population density, right? So that means not enough people per square foot because too many people stay in landed, right? Most of the properties in Malacca are landed properties, and although they try to build some condos, most of these condos are not successful, right? Or have low occupancy also, or become Airbnb places, right? So when there's low population density, right, the property prices also cannot go up, right? So like you see, like Singapore's case, right? Singapore is one example of a very, very well done high population density area. So you have the HDB flats with enough commercial downstairs, right? So enough density there where the residential as well as the commercial businesses can all survive, right? And the prices can go up. So you need a place where population density is also high. You notice all the big cities in the world, right? KL, Tokyo, right? Ho Chi Minh City, right? Singapore, Hong Kong, all have high population density, right? Which is part of the reason why their property prices can be high or move up. So this issue, as I mentioned, is not only an issue that happens in Malacca, but also happens in a lot of other smaller towns in Malaysia, right? And again, in a lot of other smaller towns in the world, right? Even in the US, right? You will notice people flock from the rural areas to go to the LA, go to New York, right? Go to San Francisco, right? And you have this, again, a similar rural to urban migration happens in Japan, happens in China, right? It's a very common problem across the world where the cities get bigger and bigger and maybe get big too fast. They create other problems, but the small towns end up don't have enough people to support their growth. Reason number two why I don't really invest in Malacca properties because as a city, as a state, right, Malacca only really has tourism as an industry. Of course, there are some factories and other businesses here and there in Malacca, but tourism is probably the main growth driver, right? We like to joke that Malacca on weekdays is fairly empty, but the population in Malacca can add 50% on the weekends, right? Because Malacca is in a sweet spot for driving, right? Where if you come from Singapore, it's about 3 hours, 3 hours plus drive. From KL, it's about 3 hours drive, right? So it's in a sweet spot where most people, if they want to stretch their car, right, they go to Malacca for tourism. And Malacca has a lot of tourism, right? It's rich of history, right? There used to be a port city, and unfortunately nowadays Malacca is no longer a port city, right? That position has been taken over by Singapore, JB, as well as Klang, right? So as a port, Malacca is no longer a real port, right? Although there's been some effort to revive it, but also not successful. So other than tourism, other than history, I think there's tourism. There's nothing really much else that Malacca has. So if you come to Malacca, there's a lot of nice museums. I tell people, very detailed museums, right? Sometimes even JB doesn't have a museum half as good as Malacca. So Malacca has multiple museums, which are very nice. Jonkers Walk is a nice place to stroll, walk. A lot of touristy things to do here. So a lot of nice heritage shop houses to visit. So Malacca has that in that. But other than that, Malacca doesn't have much else, which is the problem with a city, right? You don't have enough growth driver other than tourism alone, and I think tourism is not enough. Third reason is that so far I think Malacca doesn't have any real track record as a property investment destination, right? I know in the past there have been some developers launch condos here in Malacca to try to sell to Singapore and other parts of Malaysia as well. KL, JB, they promote the condos here. They try to push it. I don't want to name the developers, but again, a lot of these projects are considered not successful. That means today the condos are either very low occupancy, price didn't go up, and I don't think there's any single condo in Malacca that has been successful in that sense. A lot of them end up become Airbnb properties, right? My opinion on Airbnb properties, if your building is fully dependent on Airbnb, right, there's something wrong with the building, right? Means people don't want to stay there, it becomes an Airbnb place, right? It's not good, right? If a project is overly reliant on Airbnb, there should be a very healthy mix of long term. In fact, long term should be 100%, right? That shows that the building is in high demand, right? Rather than have a lot of Airbnb. So, so in that sense, Malacca doesn't have a good property track record for investment purposes, right? So the only reason why you buy property in Malacca is you want to retire here, or you are a local Malacca person, you want to buy and stay and live in Malacca, then yeah, but of course you buy for own use, right? But as a property investment destination, I think Malacca so far no real track record or success story that we can use before. So in short, Malacca has that issue, right? Which is why I don't invest in real estate in Malacca. This is what I've told people many times. I mean, my biggest problem is the population has been pretty stagnant or growing very slowly. I think that's the biggest problem in itself, which is why I believe in the future, if you really want to do real estate investment, you have to invest in cities that are high population, or the population can grow very, very quickly, right? Which is why I like JB, right? Because JB at 2 million and close to Singapore, 5.5 million, right? Singapore, 5.5 million nearby. It just requires more access, easier to travel to and fro Singapore and JB, right? And with the RTS, that will make it easier. And of course, Singaporeans have the purchasing power in Malaysia. So that in itself, right, JB is like JB plus Singapore is a 7 over million population kind of place, right? So that makes it a very attractive. If you look at JB and Singapore as one zone, right, you see that JB is a lot more attractive in that reason because of the high pricing difference that I covered in my other videos. But yeah, I mean, I like to come to Malacca for tourism purposes. It's a great place to be quiet. It's good for a weekend out, which I think why Malacca is a weekend weekend tourism town, right? But other than that, I don't really recommend Malacca as a property investment destination. My mother is from Malacca actually. I used to come Malacca quite often as a kid, right? I still come here fairly. I won't say very regularly, but I do come once in a while. So to me, the city has remained pretty much unchanged. So it's difficult to push Malacca as an investment destination. Um, in that sense, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. My 2 cents on Malacca. Since I'm in Malacca today, I decided to do that video. If you guys like my content, do like, share, and subscribe. If you have other things to say about Malacca, please drop a comment below. I'm more than happy to discuss in the comments on Malacca in the YouTube chats below. Thank you very much, and bye bye.